This is Matt.
And I'm Wes.
And this is the season finale of Out of Bed.
What the hell? What did you do? What is this shit? People jacking my intro.
Good evening to us.
See, this is what
Welcome
happened.
to our new co-host.
I hate this. I quit. I'm out of here.
Thank
Bye.
God. Matt, it's been so long. How have you been, buddy?
It's been really good. Welcome to Out of Bed.
Oh, gosh. Let's get back into bed without Chris.
Yes, let's do it. This show has been held down for way too long.
Now the real talent can come out.
Oh, here he comes.
Oh, he's returned. Hello.
Wah, wah,
Sorry.
wah.
Didn't mean to.
I hate everything.
I know. I can tell. It's written on your face.
Oh, gosh.
It's written on your face.
I feel so betrayed.
Well, get over it.
Well, Netflix told us to fire you.
That's
Actually, Netflix told me not to renew you.
That's fair.
So,
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
See, by the time this episode actually airs, all of those shows will be on the new Disney streaming app, and it'll be long forgotten in the past. So it won't even matter.
And Netflix will no longer have any other content besides their own. It'll just be original. So you can't even go in to watch anything. You can't even watch Breaking Bad anymore, probably.
That's fair.
Or no more Dexter. And I've watched Dexter 70 times since it's been on there.
Really?
A lot.
That's impressive.
I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of it.
You shouldn't be. I mean, Dexter's great, but that last season.
Oh, that's all I watched.
Anyway, I guess I should do an intro. Aaron's pointing at me we actually have to start the podcast. Well, maybe if you hadn't...
What's that? We're on the air?
Maybe if you, our producer, hadn't conspired to ruin me, then we wouldn't be in this mess.
I have an announcement about that.
You have an announcement?
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron has an announcement, apparently.
I sold the show to Netflix, so you're out.
Aaron, I have an announcement too. We've been canceled.
Yeah.
This
Before
is
the
where
sale.
you, as producer Aaron, go get a Vince McMahon clip of him going, "You're fired."
I'd prefer if it was more like, it's me, Netflix! It was me all along, Hulu! God, could you imagine the new Monday Night Wars being the new streaming service platform wars?
Yes.
Hulu fights Amazon Prime, and the winner gets to take on the ultimate of Netflix.
It'll be like the Anchorman Battle Royale.
Oh,
Well,
God,
I
yeah.
feel
Oh, yeah.
like-
What
Oh,
are
look
you
out.
doing
Here comes
here,
HBO
number
Go.
If it's gonna be accurate to the Monday Night Wars, Crackle has to invade, and
We're taking over, Crackle! Yeah, it's free, but you still have to watch her ads.
And then NPR's streaming app shows up, and we're like, "What are you doing here?"
Welcome to the Reader's Digest version of that.
oh man,
NPR.
there's so much insider information.
I know.
that's
Nobody's
being
going to
passed
listen to
along
this, and anybody who does won't get any of the references.
Well, if you
that's
are
okay.
still listening, I guess my name is Topher. And despite the fact that I've been hoodwinked, this is Out of Bed. This is the podcast where myself and my treacherous co-host, Matt Palmer, we interview our friends and random strangers that Aaron finds for us, like today. And we talk to them about what they're passionate about, what kind of motivates them, and what gets them out of bed in the morning. And this is our 10th episode.
Ooh.
We've hit 10 episodes. How do you feel about that, Matt?
I feel a real accomplishment. I mean, it only took 3 years to get those 10 episodes done.
That's true. So I'm very excited. Now, we had made a kind of a pact with ourselves that we were not going to release any episodes until we banked 10. And in that time of trying to bank 10, it took us... we started this back in June or July, I think.
Was it that far?
Yeah.
Yeah, we started in the midsummer because I was wearing shorts.
Yeah. So we started in June or July, and it is now December. So it took us that long to get 10 episodes done.
It was about as long as a half a season of a regular show on a network.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're at the winter finale time, but we took the whole time to get to a finale.
That's true. And we didn't have... we weren't recording every week, so it made it very
what you're
difficult.
hearing is a really undisciplined operation and two dudes who just got in front of a microphone and said, "All right, let's do a show."
Oh,
All right, everyone-
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, just sell it more, man. Just keep selling
This
it,
is
man.
all about ambition.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is all about ambition. We're cutting edge here. No, just whenever we can fit it in.
No.
There it is.
So that other voice is our guest for today, and I really appreciate that this is our guest, who I'll mention his name eventually, once I get over the fact that I was betrayed.
By the way, maybe you shouldn't take the elevator next time. Don't break your leg, and maybe you'd be up
This
here while we were conspiring.
this whole plan that you guys concocted happened on your walk up the stairs while I'm trying to be safe and keep my leg safe and take the elevator.
Great
Yes,
minds think
that's
alike, my
exactly what
friend.
happened.
Great minds think
Oh
alike.
my gosh. But anyway, I'm excited for this episode because as we were discussing, usually as we're getting ready for the podcast, we're always downstairs in the kitchen making a cocktail or just pouring straight whiskey into a glass. As Wes almost spills
sound
his.
effect.
We usually are just getting to talking, and the conversation was flowing very freely, and I was excited because I felt like this episode was going to very much just be shooting the shit with Wes, and that's kind of what I'd like it to be.
That's what I'm all about, my friend.
Perfect. So, you are our guest. His name is Wes. Wes, can you pronounce your last name? Because I've only seen it on Facebook. I've never.
So you've never pronounced it? Have you ever heard it pronounced?
I've never heard your last name said.
Okay,
in the
all right. So
world.
let's do this then. I always like hearing the various like just the way people like pronounce my name.
Right,
So
let
I'm going
me-
to throw it out to both you guys. I'm going to spell it out for you.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to try to pronounce it. Okay. So here we go. CIANCHCH. ETTE. I love hearing
and
all
you're
the variations.
Italian, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're
For some reason,
very
everybody thinks I'm
Italian.
French. For some reason, I don't know why, but no, it's Italian.
Cianchette.
First, and then you.
All right, well, you say it. You said it.
Cianchette.
Okay, and bring it.
I want to say CH. I feel like CH is probably like
Well,
a
give it a shot. See what happens. Take a spin.
Cianchette.
No and no, but very curious hybrids. I like them. Cianchette. That's it.
Cianchette.
Yeah, Cianchette.
Wesley Cianchette. Okay.
Wesley Cianchette.
So our
it kind
guest,
of let you down, right?
our guest.
Yeah, I was like,
Our
sound
guest-
more stereotypical Italian.
Well, what do you mean stereotypical Italian?
I wanted like Cianchette.
Cianchette. Oh, so you want me like in like a tracksuit?
I want to move my hands.
You want me like in a tracksuit or
Like,
something,
no, I
driving
want
up
you
to
in a- I
Cadillac?
want you
We're
in
like,
a-
hey, how you doing, huh? How's your mother?
I want you in a.
Hey, you know Paulie up in Yonkers?
stereotypical.
No, I want you in a red and blue plumber outfit,
Why?
like
What's-
saving
what's-
a princess.
Well, no, I get. Yeah, I see what you doing. That's really
Full
freaking
Captain
funny. Huh?
Lou.
well,
Alabama.
actually,
How you doing?
honestly,
How you doing?
I don't want to give you too much credit. Green and blue plumber outfit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. So the less notable one. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
But the better name, because Mario is a shitty name.
Well, also, hold on. What drunken psycho came up with the idea of Mario Brothers? I mean, who's drunk enough to think, hey, you know what would be a really good idea to rescue a princess? Plumbers.
Some cocaine-fueled, like...
And not even
Jessica,
that.
yeah,
Not even that.
70s.
Stereotypical plumbers who all they subsist themselves on is pasta. Like, and they try. Well, how did they get to this world to save this princess? Oh, they travel via pipes. Pipes.
it was Shigeru Miyamoto.
Well, you know what? He and I have to have a long conversation because I don't know where this came from, but it was probably a very bad shroom trip.
Is Wario, or is he Wario something?
I'm gonna look this up. We're gonna look up their names.
Yeah.
Wario's full name.
Now, does
And-
Wario have a brother?
and technically,
I think is it Waluigi?
it is Waluigi, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Waluigi.
Also, how good of a monarchy does the princess actually come from? Like how royal is her family?
She has no guards whatsoever.
no
She gets
guards
kidnapped
whatsoever.
every
Easily
single time.
kidnapped. Easily kidnapped. Like she's not like. There obviously needs to be some better military spending going on here. 'cause
By the
it's not
same
doing well.
widower lizard king
Yeah.
who just shows up with his kids, like, and in their spare time they just steal princesses.
And who can't fight against turtle and like what are Goombas basically, like turtle and like chicken hybrids? How can you not beat them?
and who's her best friend?
Who's her? Yeah,
A mushroom.
Toad. Yeah, Toad. Wow,
Mushroom with feet.
a mushroom named Toad.
And
A mushroom named Toad.
Yoshi has nothing to do with him, right?
This is
He's just an orphan dinosaur, right?
is he a dinosaur?
Mario's-
What is he?
I think Yoshi's a dinosaur.
Yoshi's
and
a
Mario
dinosaur?
just stumbled
Yeah.
upon him,
Okay.
right?
I'm not
Wow.
seeing a last name.
And this was the season finale of Out of Bed.
Hey, it's
I'm
been
not
wonderful,
seeing a
right?
last name for Wario.
Let's play it out.
All right.
Yeah,
Get it out.
this whatever. I'm more interested.
Okay, well, we're playing it out. Well, folks, it's been tremendous. Matt, I got to say, these last 10 episodes with you have just been the most defining moment of my life. And I got to say, man, thank you for everything you've given
I
me.
am so happy with this new co-host.
Oh, God.
All right,
Fuck you
everybody.
all.
Hey.
That's right. I used your F-bomb up.
You can't use up my F-bomb. That's all right. I'll stock it for you.
All right, we'll get back to the actual podcast now. I'm still not over the fact that I can't find Wario or Waluigi's last name. Please let us know in the comments below. What is Wario and Waluigi's last names?
Oh yeah,
that would be really great.
And also, just throwing it out there, who would win, Kirby or Yoshi? Like in a death match.
Well, if you look at the
Super Smash Brothers,
Brothers trailer that came out recently, Kirby is the only one that survives that. Like, did you see that trailer?
I did not.
So they posted this trailer, and again, by the time this airs, this is going to be the oldest news in the world. They'll have like 3 new Smash Brothers games out by then. But in the trailer for it, they were pushing this new story mode they were going to be doing, and literally every hero gets like killed by this weird light beam that like just eradicates all of them except for Kirby. And Kirby is just flying around and he escapes.
You know what? I think it's actually probably Hunger Games for Nintendo characters.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, and Kirby's the only one who just happened to make it out just by compromising his moral, his moral turpitude.
Yeah,
all of it.
That's fair.
This has been fun.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh God. Oh man. This episode.
Why is Wes here?
Yeah, Wes.
Yeah. Why am I here, guys?
What you want
to introduce him to the purpose of the show?
What gets you out of bed? What gets you out of bed, Wes?
Well, usually the alarm clock and the necessity that I need to go to work to make money to pay bills. But
perfect, Aaron, hit that outro.
There it is. All right. Well, once again, Matt, it's been amazing work we do these last 10 seasons, and I can't tell you, man, what it's done for my career.
I am so excited about what we'll do in the second season without Chris.
I'm looking forward to it. I have so many creative ideas, and I feel like you could just bring them out of me. Just you.
All right, everybody. See ya. Good night.
I'm liking it.
All right, Wes, what gets you out of bed?
Well, a myriad of things, really. But one of the main things that I've kind of gotten into over the last couple of years is stunts. So Hollywood stunts and action performance, action design. For movies, TV shows, live performances, or what have you. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of been the main thing that's been, that sort of started out as a hobby, but morphed now into more of like I wouldn't say an obsession, but like the next, I don't know. We'll call it like maybe the next calling, the next step in my life, and it's something I kind of want to follow, and it's a passion that's kind of bloomed up. And the cool thing is we're in a very kind of cool area. We're in the Mid-Atlantic where you don't see a lot of people like myself, stuntmen kind of hanging around here. The big hubs are New York, Boston, Atlanta, LA, or, Toronto as well. But it's kind of becoming, I wouldn't say a bigger thing, but it's a really cool, the enclave I've kind of found and kind of dug out in my searches to become a better stuntman. It's drawn a lot of people out of the woodwork, and the chance to meet so many other people of varying backgrounds and skill sets has been really rewarding. So that's kind of one of the things that gets me out of bed right off the bat. So
we have had previous guests on the podcast who have told us interesting life paths that they have taken, and we asked, how did you do that? What led you to that? And one of the responses we got was, I just did it. Could you give us a response that's a little bit more than that? Like,
sure,
what led you from
wherever
you started to doing stunts? Because that is so fascinating.
Well, it's funny because I'm an analyst for a very big financial services company during the week, and so at night, I pretend to break bones. Well, honestly, what it started is, one of the reasons that we kind of commiserate a lot and talk a lot about, various shared interests and such. Much like you, Chris, like when I was in college, I got bit by the wrestling bug. It was professional wrestling to me was a huge thing. Mm-hmm. And that in and of itself combines all my favorite parts about being a performer. It brings in the fitness aspect of it, the athleticism, the ability to be able to tell a story through body movement and what have you. Excuse me. And also just, sometimes the ridiculous soap opera storylines that kind of overlaid as well, that just really drew me. So, in college, when I went away to the University of Southern Maine, my roommate was actually a former professional wrestler. And, he happened to get me to watch SmackDown one night way back in 2002. And I fell in love. I absolutely fell in love. It was a Rey Mysterio match versus Chavo Guerrero. Nice. And it just turned me on. I'm just like, I have never seen this before. It's amazing. And from there...
And that was the height of SmackDown.
That was the beginning of what I think is... That was the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era. So you saw like the SmackDown 6 really get elevated. So you saw some of the most amazing athleticism. Cool thing is, too, 2002, you saw this really huge, awesome resurgence in very practical based kind of strong style of wrestling that just kind of took America by storm. So you have those big companies like Ring of Honor, CZW, various other like independent promotions that were advertising and kind of giving themselves a much more kind of hard hitting style that you didn't see here in the States. In the States, it was very showy. Yeah. So they brought in this very athletic based style, and that really drew me. And so as a result, I fell in love with professional wrestlers who were much more less off the mic, less off the stick, and more so about doing their work in the ring. So the hate to mention his name, but whatever, the Chris Benoit's, the Eddie Guerreros, Rhino was a big character of mine that I absolutely loved. You know, it was really cool to kind of get engrossed in that. And the university that I went to in Maine and New England has a multitude of independent territories just everywhere. Mm-hmm. So the chance to work in this and the chance to start getting trained in professional wrestling was everywhere. The opportunity was everywhere. So you take advantage of it. And it was great. I did my first show ever when I was 19 years old in South Portland, in Armory in Portland, Maine. Mm-hmm. And I did my last match was in 2009. In Skowhegan, Maine. Mm-hmm. It was a tag match. I was a Britishman. I was a man from England. Yes. So I was a member of Team UK, and I was the only one who could talk because I'm going to speak with an English accent.
That's a very original name.
I know, right? Well, the folks in Maine, some of the areas that we performed in, is just like, oh my God, I've seen England on a map before. That's really cool. This
you want to go see the wrestling?
Y'all want to go watch them wrestlers? It's the greatest thing ever. Well, it's Maine, so it's like, hey, buddy, you want to go up there and see them wrestlers?
They all sound like Fred Gwynn in Pet Sematary.
Yes, yeah. Every single one of them sounds like Judd Crandall. Every single one of them sounds like Judd Crandall.
You don't want to go down that.
Oh, no. Don't want to go on that ring. Uses up a lot of good wrestlers. Green boys, mostly.
Everybody winds up dead there.
Everybody winds up putting up the J-O-B there. So,
real quick, what was your finishing move? Did you have a finishing move?
So I had a couple. So, it depended on which incarnation of my character that you really talk to. So my first,
and if while you're explaining that, if you could, because this is only our second episode that kind of like touches on wrestling.
Oh yeah, sure.
If you could explain the moves as you're telling them, because I know what moves I'll probably know them, and Aaron, or Matt might know them, but our producer Aaron is an idiot.
No, that's totally okay. I like dumbing myself down. You know,
wow.
I really like dumbing myself down. Aaron, can you play us out, please?
Well, thanks for joining us,
Matt. I got to say, this last 10 episodes with you have just been so monumental,
and that's the rule of.
I just can't even
and that right
even. Just
find what gets you out of bed.
Just find what.
Let me say my sentence. That right there is the rule of threes, so we cannot use that joke anymore. Thank you.
Sure about that? Gosh. I have a tendency to beat things to death. Anyway,
dude, we've recorded this show up to an hour and a half. Uh-huh. I'm pretty sure we're going to do that at least 10 more times.
I was listening to a podcast recently that they were doing. They were having the start of 1 week. It's been one week. They had that they cut that in to interrupt each other like 20 times in the episode, and it got funnier and funnier each time. It was
this is our version of John.
It's been 1 week.
Pussycat.
Really? I feel like this
What's new, Pussycat?
I feel like this was our version of like Joffrey's wedding in the audio version or something, because that's what it feels like being here right now. Spoiler. He lives.
Anyway, what are your finishing moves?
Oh, so the first incarnation of my character, I tried to go for just a very snappy submission move. So just a dragon sleeper.
Okay.
Straight up dragon sleeper. I horribly ripped off Low Key because I saw a bunch of his moves in Ring of Honor, and I thought they were the most amazing thing ever. So I threw a knee in the back as well. So basically, a dragon sleeper. You take your right arm and you basically crock it around the person's neck from the front way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then you take your left arm, crock it underneath their left arm, and you basically hook your hands underneath. Mm-hmm. Then to really
behind their back,
their back, basically. Yeah. So you're basically standing over the top of them, but the idea is that you're cutting off the oxygen supply in their neck, and so they're going to pass out at some point. To really add an additional level of being an asshole, you stick your right knee into the lower crock of their back, and you kind of lay them across it, and it just looks cool.
Yeah. So we're going to have you try that out on Aaron real quick, so we can get a.
Oh, okay. So we want this right now. Yeah, we just want to go for it.
Yep.
You just want to go for it.
With the headphones on.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just take all your clothes off, but leave like the spandex I gave you before this show on? Because I know they're under there.
This show just took a really odd turn.
This took a turn.
It took a great turn.
You
all wanted this.
We just went to a place.
We did. So that was
we're on HBO now.
I know, right?
Like
real
The Wire
wrestling
or
and
something.
real sex. But so the second finishing maneuver that I adopted, well, I had two more after that. One I used, the other one I didn't get a chance to use. So next incarnation, I wanted to use a cutthroat driver.
Oh,
Which basically is, for any of those Ring of Honor fans, it was, I believe it was Mark Briscoe's original finisher, like back in 03. Basically, you take the guy's left hand, you drape around his neck, you stick underneath him as if you're going for a fireman's carry, and then drop him on his head. For some reason, nobody ever wanted me to do that to him. So
yeah, it's weird.
I don't know why, so I didn't do it. So then I just modified it to a Death Valley driver.
Nice.
Which is basically just the same thing as I just described, just not crocking the hand, just dump him right on their head.
Yeah.
And it looks vicious.
So tell me, how do you get from retiring from wrestling in 2009 to doing stunt work here?
Well, it was partially of a relocation. So I was still in my college town back then. So I went to school in Maine and such. I stayed a couple years afterwards. And when I say retire, basically means that the couple promotions I was working for at that time, I'm not around in that state anymore. So I can't get booked there anymore. I did want to try to continue my wrestling career a little bit when I moved back down here, but it just kind of, maybe it'll kick back up again in the future, but the focal point has not been that since I moved down here. What kind of got me into stunts was actually looking for a wrestling school a couple of years ago. So I I basically just dredged up a list of online, like various training schools or training seminars or centers in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And one of them that came up as a return of results was the DC Stunt Coalition in Rockville, Maryland. So, excuse me. So what I did is I just happened to send an email to the blank email, the blind email box saying, "Hey, my name is Wes. I have a little bit of fight background. Kind of want to see if I can get a workout in or see what this is all about. I like the idea of the stunt coalition. That sounds pretty cool. Like, so hopefully you can teach us how to get thrown through windows or all that kind of stuff." I got an email back and I never followed up. And finally, after about a year or so, I stumbled across that email again. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, let's give it a shot. So I see that they have a training session every Sunday down in Rockville, at a tots, basically a teen and a tots gymnasium. So it's like a gymnasium for young kids and stuff, but we rent out the space every Sunday. So when they're not in there, we get a chance to use the entire facility, which is great. It's a tremendous training facility. And after my first training session down there, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. I got to meet the guy who runs the coalition, a guy by the name of Dylan Hintz, who's actually a working stuntman. And he basically started the coalition in 2013 as a way to basically introduce people to the world of being a stuntman, working in the industry professionally, and also to create a community, but also to create kind of I would say like a niche market resource, because for some reason over the past 5 or 6 years, there's been a lot of TV shows, movies, and stuff that kind of come through this area, and occasionally they need work with people who are more, athletic, or people who can, put together some sort of action design or action choreography and such. And we fill that need. So Dylan kind of started that back in 2013 and kind of, kept working that and bringing it up. And as time's come where we are now, we are actually an established business, which is great. So we do a lot of live action performances at various cons around the DMV area. We've worked on several films, worked on several television shows. A lot of our people work on Netflix shows. And local stuff that comes along the way. So it's been a really rewarding experience, and you get to have some really cool, fun times on a movie set. So it's been fun. Can you
talk about the movies and shows that you've worked on?
Yeah, I can talk about some of them, and I can talk about some of the other ones that our whole group has worked on. So,
okay, yeah.
in the desire to really try to expand like the business set, or just like just to try to get our business out there more and more, one of the key things about this industry, and I think it's just with the entertainment industry in general, is that word of mouth goes a long way.
Yeah.
You have to always massage your network no matter what, because the old adage is like, when they see you, they know you, but the minute you're gone, the chance is gone. Mm-hmm. That's very, very true, especially in the entertainment industry, in any form, in any facet. Mainly because it's highly competitive. Everybody wants to go there. And as good as you are, there's 500 other people who look better than you, are better than you, more trained than you, or what have you. So a lot of luck goes into it as well. So the best thing you do is just try to focus and push as much of that luck towards your direction as you possibly can. So one way we try to monopolize that is we have a couple of people who live in Atlanta, which is a very big spot and a big hub now for a lot of television shows because it's so cheap to shoot there. Mm-hmm. We have a couple of people who live in New York, and we have a chance to go up there all the time, which is great. So as a result, we have our hands in a lot of pots. So if you look on this season of Daredevil, 2 of our guys are in 2 big, massive fights. One of them is a guy by the name of San Yun and also Felix Cortez. Felix also had a chance to work on the 2nd season of Punisher, which just wrapped up a little while ago to be debuting soon. Nice. Dylan actually lives in Brooklyn. That's where his mailing address is, with 2 body doubles. One of the body doubles is for David Tennant's character on Jessica Jones, and the other body double was for I believe it was the young Bruce Wayne in Gotham.
Oh, wow.
So I had a chance to work on House of Cards this past year when they filmed down in Baltimore. Whole bunch of our people got to work on Wonder Woman 2, which filmed down in Alexandria for about 4 months, or 3 months, I should say. Tremendous opportunities and such. And it's been a really rewarding experience. Just the first movie that we ever had a chance to work on was actually an American University student film called Rivermont, which this film, if you guys have a chance to see it, it's a tremendously powerful film. A young girl wants to try to tell the story of what it's, of the evolution of the civil rights movement from the eyes of her grandmother and then to herself, in the sense of like what her grandmother was going through in the 60s. With the counter sit-ins and that kind of stuff, Jim Crow, and then transition it to what she is seeing now as a young woman in America. So she's seeing a lot of the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. Right now, our producer's playing the trailer. So this is the Rivermont trailer that's playing right now.
Okay.
If you guys look, there's one sequence where you can see me, but like every other stuntman, it's usually like my back is to the camera, and it's me wearing a tack vest, so you really can't see it. But that's me.
But you're like, hey!
Yeah, like, hey, that's me!
That's my back!
So my first exposure was this film, and the cool thing is, the very first sequence that we had to shoot on this movie, because our stunt group was actually retained for this, was to put together a giant riot sequence on the American University campus parking lot in the middle of the night back last April. So I actually go as a SWAT team leader with about 6 or 7 other SWAT guys who have full riot gear on. And we have smoke bombs, we have protesters, we have people who are basically like turning on various lights to look like police lights and such. And so we stage a full-blown, a full-scale riot. And it was so much fun, and it was really, really cool to just be a part of that experience. That was my first kind of exposure into that. So some of the stuff that we've worked on, we've also have credits on the show Turn. If you guys remember that on AMC, Washington Spies, Turn. Felix Cortez had a huge hit on Banshee a while ago, which is no longer on the air, but also The Outsiders too. He was also in one of the original Toxic Avenger movies, which is pretty funny.
Oh, so, wow.
Awesome. Yeah. He was like a taxi driver or something, like in 1984, but like it was really cool. And one of the more recent films that we did is actually an independent film that's going to be released very soon called Johnny Z, which is basically a martial arts zombie action flick, which is really cool. So we got to spend a couple of days on set down in Virginia as we filmed this massive destruction, everybody gets killed soon.
Do the zombies use martial arts, or do people use martial arts on the zombies?
You're going to have to see the film, I guess. And right now our wonderful producer is now playing the trailer. Right now, if you guys get a chance, the first pair of eyes that you see is one of the DCSC members, Felix Cortez, who's also a working stuntman, working action director, and what have you. So, yeah, it's pretty epic. It's pretty epic. You won't be able to understand much from the trailer, but it's cool. It's cool. But it's really been awesome. It's been a really real rewarding experience, and I can't wait to see where else it goes.
How long have you been doing it now?
It's 2 years this past November. I started November of 2016.
Okay.
So you're in a training facility doing that. How do you move from that to being in front of cameras, and how different is it from being in a room where you're just doing the practice to doing it on set with cameras and all that kind of stuff?
Right. Now, it's the jump there is kind of interesting. Well, the way you transition is, as I said before, word of mouth is the main kind of thing in this business. So one of the cool things about the DC Stunt Coalition is Dylan wanted to create and kind of foster a community where there was a tremendous marketing kind of hub, a way that we could really kind of synthesize and centralize. Hey guys, for example, Six Flags needs new performers for their new stunt show. Here's their contact information. I heard about it through a whatever. Go check it out. Or hey guys, are you free this weekend? A couple of they need a couple of roles filled on Blacklist up in New York. Can you make it up for the weekend or whatever? Yeah, that'd be great. Actually, one of the episodes of Blacklist, you see Dylan get shot by James Spader, which is pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's so basically Dylan publishes a lot of these opportunities for us, and him being the trainer, he'll come to you, and he'll be like, I think you're the right person for this role. Let's try to get you in for it. And people are coming to him. So he's rationing out a lot of the opportunities to us and his best students and people that he wants to really help succeed. And so the transition, as I said, it was basically like, hey, you free this weekend? Yeah, what's up? Well, we need a police guy for a student film in DC. Feel like doing it? Yeah, sure, why not? And then it starts from there. And then the next weekend it was like, hey, you free next weekend? Yeah, why? Well, I need you to play a meth head. I need you to get shot. Oh, sweet. That sounds like fun. I'll do it. So I worked on a film called The Meek, and I played a meth head, and I got shot. It was great. Your second question, Matt, the really interesting thing about being on set, especially when you're working in the quote-unquote stunt world, the dichotomy between, like, the various hierarchies on a set is very, very apparent. Like, you have the stars. Then you have the production staff. You have the production staff who serve the stars and everybody else. Then underneath them, you have the extras. The extras who just kind of hang out all day, eat catering every now and then, and whenever they have to get a chance to do a walk-on, they do that. And then you have the stuntmen who kind of stay to their side and stay there on their own. One of the things that we're taught over and over again is that, hey guys, you're stuntmen, you're not actors. Actors are actors. Actors are not stuntmen. Make sure that there's a very clear differentiation between the two. So when a stuntman is working with an actor, take it easy. Don't go 100%. Go 75%. Soft hands. And if they throw a fit, or if you hit them too hard, if you knock them too hard, they will throw a fit. They'll pitch a fit. They'll go in the trailer, and they won't come out for the rest of the day. That's happened a few times before.
To you?
Not to me. These are some of the horror stories you hear on set. But I do know a couple of people who had to contend with that. I won't say names, but it's.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could.
If I wanted to, I would. I would, but I'm not. I don't want to, so I'm not going to.
Okay, all right. Maybe
it was Tom Cruise, wasn't it?
It was totally Tom Cruise.
I know it.
It was totally Tom Cruise. All 5'1" of him. Yeah. But there are some other funny things that occur as well, because at the end of the day, it's like everybody I think has this very preconceived notion that being on a movie set is like glitzy and glamorous, and in some cases, yes, it is. But also, when you've done it a certain amount of times, you're like, it's just another day at the office for some people. You're just you're just doing your random work. So as a result of that, you could be susceptible to regular, everyday, average Joe things. So one funny story I will impart to you guys if you want is
this with Tom Cruise?
It's not with Tom Cruise, actually. This is on a set a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. So I had to come to set, and we had to get in this full military, basically full military gear. So we had to get a tac vest on, we had to get weapons, all that whole kind of thing. And we also had to put these really ornate helmets on as well. And the director needed to film this sequence where a main character was walking up through a field, and behind him was the devastation that this main character had just laid to this swath of SWAT team members that tried to come and stop him. So basically, he just made mincemeat out of all of them. And the idea is that the guy's walking towards the shot, and in the background you see just a field of dead guys. So of course, as a stuntman, you got to play a dead guy. So it's like, all right, sweet. Now, mind you, I was hungover when I showed up to this set. I was deeply hungover, I was white girl hungover. I was really hungover. So were a majority of the other stunt guys on the set. So the first thing when we hear that comes out of the director's mouth, "Hey guys, we need you to be dead bodies," we're like, "Oh, thank God, we can go lay down." So
can we be dead bodies that have a headache?
Oh no, trust me, we're all just like, can we just be dead bodies, please? Just leave us for dead bodies or whatever.
Just take an Ambien.
Yes,
going out.
yeah. I mean, yeah, man. Just pop a couple Percocets, drink up a thing of coffee, and you'll be out in 20 seconds. You'll be good. Then you'll wake up in an hour. So
they're like, "Wow, that guy is good.
Man, that guy is so committed to his craft. Is he alive?
Is he actually
dead?
He's taking his zombie role real seriously.
My God, he's gone over the edge. But so we all lay on the ground, and we lay in these very interesting positions, and it's hot out. It's in the middle of summer. As we're laying on the ground, the hangover starts to really, really set in more and more and more. And it's not just me. It's the two other guys who are laying on the ground with me, but we're all covered in blood looking like we're dead. Well, the director takes about 40 minutes to get these shots right. And apparently, at some point through that, we all fell asleep. Every single guy on the ground fell asleep. Every single guy fell asleep. But the thing is, you don't think you're sleeping. You just you close your eyes and you feel like you nodded off. It's like, oh, okay, we're good. And then all I hear is, all right, break. So we all get up and we're like, oh, okay, I guess that was it. Sweet, cool. Didn't feel like long. Then we realized, wow, we slept for 40 minutes. Well, we were pretty committed to be dead bodies. 2 weeks go by. And then I get a call from my instructor who says, "Did you guys fall asleep on set?" I'm like, "Why do you ask?" He's like, "Because all of the footage is ruined because all of you are snoring."
No.
So there are 3 stuntmen in this movie who are dead on the ground, literally just going as the hero is epically walking towards the camera with a bloody sword, just surrounded by a cacophony of John Williams style. So
that's where you just say, "Fix it in post."
I think that was my response. Actually, it's like, "Did you guys sleep on set?" Fix it in post. You're fine. You're totally good.
It's like, what's the sound editing guy for?
I know. Seriously, it's like, what are you spending all this money for, right?
And that was the last time Wes worked with Zack Snyder.
And for some reason, I've never worked since. I don't know why. But so that was one of the really funny ones. The other cool thing about being a stuntman is like you get to rub shoulders with a lot of really cool people and see people and stuff. So you guys know Michael Jai White? Spawn.
He got killed in the
guy killed in Dark Knight and Spawn.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I went to his 50th birthday party last year in New York City as a result of the fact that I was a stuntman at the Call to Action convention up in New York City. And part of the after party is that, hey, if you're working the event or whatever, we'll give you free tickets to the VIP party for Michael Jai White's 50th birthday party. And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, sure. No, I'm sorry, I can't make it. I can't make it to Michael Jai White's birthday party that I just got invited to. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't go. So I go, and it's me and a bunch of the other stunt guys, and we go up to the very top of this very posh VIP, like really cool like club. And the first thing you see is nothing but just Spawn stuff everywhere, because it was the 20-year anniversary of Spawn coming out. Believe that, 20 years. So we go up there, and I'm just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Walk up to the middle of this room, and in the middle of the room is this giant ornate cake that says "Happy Birthday, Michael." It's a Spawn cake, complete with green glowing eyes. That was his birthday cake, was a giant Spawn cake.
That's wonderful.
And the fact that I had Snapchat, and I filmed the entire thing when he came in, that's the only reason I ever used social media, was just for that one moment. So it was amazing.
Are you living on the convention scene too, or no?
When you say living, do you mean earning a living?
A little bit of column A, column B, like do you work those, or
yes?
What's the role of a stunt guy at a convention?
Well, so ours is kind of unique. Basically, we occupy the same type of temperament at these cons as any other vendor does. So we're there at these conventions to essentially show, hey, we're the DC Stunt Coalition. If you guys have ever had an interest in seeing how action performance is designed, action design occurs, or if you ever want to kind of get a slight kind of dip your toe into the world of being a stuntman, check us out. So it's like every other convention and such. But part of the thing that we do is, since we're essentially an action performance group as well, we throw in the ability to be able to have a show. So have you guys ever been to AwesomeCon before? You ever been to AwesomeCon?
I haven't been, but I know of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So there they also have like live action shows. They have live performances or whatever. Right. It's usually people like whatever they're selling and stuff. So we've done shows there every single year, and we do them at various other conventions as well. So that's one of our big kickers, that we like doing performances. That's usually done, I wouldn't say at cost or whatever, but it's more so done as a way for us to be like, hey, this is what we do. We want to get ourselves out in the community. We want to show what we can do and such. But have there been times where we made money off of it? Yes, there have been. Not always technically conventions, but, there have been times as well. So yeah, it's a little bit of column A. That's just a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It's more so for a marketing approach for that perspective. It's a great way to meet people, and also the perks of the con too. You get free entrance into the con. You get to check out everything, and you get kind of a backstage kind of thing to it. So that's cool. The perks are really, really cool.
AwesomeCon is like DC's Comic-Con, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I didn't know like it was specifically
like in the
DC.
last like 3 or 4 years, it's become much bigger.
Yeah, it's become very, very big. They do it right down in it was the Walters Gallery. Is that what it's called?
I feel like they even started branching out to like the convention center.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think that's where it is. It's at a convention center, I think.
And like, I would say when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, nothing like that existed in Washington.
Yeah.
And like now, it's everywhere.
It is. It's spun off to a lot of stuff like MagFest. There's Action Con. There's obviously Comic Con, Awesome Con, whole bunch of them. There's Balticon as well, which was here a couple of months ago. BronyCon is a big thing, which I still don't get that, but that's just me.
I get it. I just wish I didn't.
Have you geeked out seeing
At
somebody
BronyCon?
or just in a scene like
So I've geeked out a few times. So like being starstruck.
Yeah.
Okay. So I one of the first times I was really starstruck, just because this shows how much of a mark I am, is when we were on the set for House of Cards. So do you guys remember the actor who plays Agent Green, the corrupt FBI guy with the really, really like uncomfortable looking face? If I showed you a picture of him, you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that guy." I probably shouldn't say that on the podcast.
Yes. He has like the bug eyes, right?
Weird nose, very prominent jaw.
He was the guy that put
one that they kind of get in there with, right?
He was the guy that put the pressure on the computer hacker.
Yes,
guy, right?
yeah. Like the guys that like a Bark Doggy or something.
Right.
That guy. So we were filming this actually off of Charles Street in downtown Baltimore, at a diner, and he was just casually standing outside, full get up and whatever. And I saw him, like, oh my god, I think his name was like Jeremy Holt or Jeremy Holm or something. And I'm like, oh my god, that's Agent Green. I'm like, holy shit, this is real. This is so cool. Right. And then 2 seconds later, it washes off. It's like, oh, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. So you get those moments of being starstruck. I did get him to laugh though. I made some joke in his presence, and he really laughed. And I can't remember what the joke was, but I remember like, oh, sweet, got him to laugh. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But saw the guy who played a bunch of the other actors there. Like I saw, I can't remember his full name, but the guy who plays Tom Hammerschmidt in House of Cards, Boris something, whatever. Yeah, he was there, so he was cool. And it was just really cool to be a part of that. A lot of our folks who worked on Wonder Woman 2, they were really surprised about how Gal Gadot made it a point to come over and shake the hands of everybody who worked on the set.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Extras, stuntmen, choreographers, everybody. She made it a point to go and just make herself available to the crowd. So she was very gracious, from what I understand, which was awesome. So,
any other cool people that you've met or been close to or seen?
As far as me, not so much, but a lot of our other folks have.
Okay.
Those are pretty much my biggest ones right now. I wanted a chance to work on Gotham about a month ago. They were filming this very big military sequence, which turned out to be the emergence of Bane, which hope I'm not spoiling it for anybody, but whatever. Yeah. Next season of Gotham is going to have Bane on it, and so we would have a chance to be able to meet the actors who played various characters in Gotham and such. But I didn't get a chance to make that one.
Oh, okay.
So do you have a specialty in stunt?
Me personally, or just like people have
snoring
that?
dead body.
Snoring dead body. Yeah. I mean, I've got the lock on that field.
Nailed it.
That's me. Nailed it. So right now, the way I like to kind of consider myself is basically like a henchman type. So the main focus would be like you would see me being one of the guys in the background beating up like the main guy's sidekick or whatever, or I would be one of the many guys that the main hero throws like through a wall or something, and that's kind of my thing. I usually get tasked with a lot of like either military roles or big like fighter roles and such. I think I don't know. I guess it's the body type or what have you. But that's kind of the specialty that's been going for right now. The next move I really want to make is I want to get into what's called stunt driving, or basically car choreography, so you can learn to be an actual stunt car driver.
Do some like baby driver shit.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cool because they actually offer courses on that for fairly reasonable prices. So you can actually go and take a day lesson for $300 in New Jersey, where they just teach you how to do stunt riding on a stunt track, which is awesome.
That's really cool.
So that's kind of the main thing I want to do. At some point, when I start really getting serious about getting more into shape and what have you, I'd like to start throwing in some tricking, or maybe some light steps into parkour. So just something to make myself as versatile as I possibly can. One of the main things to being a stuntman is that you really need to be in good shape. You need to make sure your endurance is up, because as ridiculous as the idea sounds, doing the same physical activity over and over and over again, you have to maintain a certain a sense of symmetry, because everything is kind of counting on that. Mm-hmm. And if you are blown up or out of air in one scene but you're not in the other, the audience will notice, and it takes away the mystique from it. Yeah. So maintaining that symmetry is pretty key and vital. And a lot of our stunt people take that very close to heart, which is a good thing. So that's something I want to focus more on. But right now, I would say I'm kind of the heavy hitter guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you get to do this? Because like you said, you have a day job. So is this like every weekend, every other weekend, once a month?
Mm-hmm. Well, training is every weekend. So training is every Sunday from 4 to 9. Okay. So we always make sure we get a good 4 or 5 hour workout session in.
Nice.
That's always centralized. As far as projects, it depends on what our what our client base is needing and whatever the project kind of focal point is at that stage. So if there are a lot of movies coming through, and if we get retained for a couple of them, if you have PTO like I do sometimes, you use that to take a day off to go and work on the film or what have you. If you don't, a lot of our folks who come to our gym want to be actors. That's their main thing, and they're doing this as a great way to be able to stay in shape or what have you. So a lot of them drive for Lyft or Uber to be able to make sure that they're available to do these roles. One thing that I thought was the coolest thing is that when I was working on House of Cards, I got a chance to talk to a lot of the people who do extra work, and literally that's their job. They just are professional extras. They just go from just set to set to city and just work a day, work 2 days, work 3 days for $100 each, and that's their job. One of the coolest things on the set for House of Cards is that the previous night, a bunch of the extras who I was talking to, they're like, oh yeah, we just had to drive down to Philadelphia last night. Oh yeah, what was going on? We were filming Creed 2. So they were all in the audience for the big final scene, I guess for Ivan Drago's son and Michael B. Jordan's character.
Yeah.
They were there as spectators for that final fight. So they literally drove from Philadelphia after working on another installment of Rocky, Creed 2, down to go work on House of Cards. So that's one of the really cool things. So you can make this a day job. Location is very, very important because there's not a lot of work that comes through the DMV area, so you've got to go to your hub spots to really make sure you can take advantage of whatever the opportunities that are there.
So you talk about the coalition like it's like yours, like teams.
Yeah.
But like it sounds like at the same time they're like sort of competition to do these select roles. How do you all maintain that sense of cohesion while supporting one another, but while also wanting to get on the set?
That is that is kind of the nature of the beast in some ways, is that you've got to check your ego in a lot of instances. As I said before, it's a very fickle industry. And it's a very fickle business because normally you have to fit an aesthetic. There has to be some sort of aesthetic that is necessary to be reached. And if you don't fit that aesthetic, you don't fit the aesthetic, and sucks. Sorry to hear it. If they put out a request for, hey, we need 5, people who are completely comfortable with martial arts backgrounds or have a very good proficiency in martial arts background. If your background is boxing, you're probably not going to get picked up for it because they want martial artists. If your background is in fencing and they want broadsword style, they're not going to pick you. So there's a part of the idea of the understanding that check your ego at the door, follow the fact that not everybody gets a role or whatever, but we're all here to try to share these opportunities as we possibly can. And most folks understand that. The folks who don't, they usually find their way out of the group. The folks who do stay there and continue to kind of contribute to the group's success. So there is competition, but it's a healthy competition, and I don't think it'd be any different than if you were like an officer, a day job, or whatever, and somebody's going for, hey, that manager role opened up. Well, Cindy over in accounting, she's pretty good and qualified for it, but so am I, so we're going to go for it together. So it's healthy competition, I would say.
So these scenes that you're doing, do you get on set and they say, okay, this is what you're doing today? Or are there times where you're able to give your input on the stunts and help craft that scene at all? Or?
It depends really on what the director or the producer is looking for. So, for example, on films like Johnny Z, we were tasked and hired on as the action design team. So all the action that you see in Johnny Z, that was choreographed and come up with by members of the coalition and put together and rehearsed before we got to set. The idea being is that this has kind of been vetted by the producer and the director. It's up to their standard. They think that's what we're trying to go for. We're going to replicate that on set. If that's the case, then it's kind of totally in our wheelhouse, and the director then kind of tweaks it as he sees necessary, and he puts input in. If we show up and the director doesn't have any idea what they want, you run into this a lot where it's like, well, your stunt guys just to figure it out, and to them it's kind of like them taking 2 action figures as a kid and smashing them together and wondering why there's not a great fight or something like that, So sometimes you have to improvise on the fly. So if it's a situation like that, we kind of take control and we kind of craft it for them, but you have to always constantly check in. Is this what you're looking for? Is this going to be appropriate for the angle that you're trying to achieve? Where do you see this action playing out? What's the end goal of the action? So we try to find a curious balancing act, but we really have to tailor it and kind of cater it to whatever the necessities of the particular scene are at that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like, backup singers are often referred to as being like 10 feet from stardom. It seems like you're really close to something just a little bit bigger. Do you have ambitions beyond?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. As in, like, beyond the DMV? Beyond, like, where you're there? Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, at some point, I would like to give this an honest go, an honest, absolute go, and like take a year off and just go for it and see what happens. One of the coolest things that I ever had a chance to do, and if you guys ever get a chance, I'd love to take you up there and you could be a part of this, is one of the ways that stuntmen kind of market themselves or get roles and such. We don't have normally agents. We're kind of independent contractors. So we have to go where the work is, and we essentially have to petition ourselves. So one of the things you can do is you can swing by various sets if you know where a production's going on at that day and try to somehow score an interaction with the fight coordinator or a fight director. So, excuse me, just burped.
You can do that in the mic.
Well, should have told me that before.
All right.
I'll remember that next time.
If we can say an F-bomb, we can burp into the microphone.
Well, then there you go. I thought that's where we drew the line.
No.
Man!
It's not good for the mics.
Well, neither are you.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things one of the cool things you could do is you can literally go and swing by that set and try to see if you could talk to a director or whatever. Be like, hey, if you ever need any help again, here's my resume. I'll be available. Just give me a call or whatever. And that works sometimes. It seems very low-key and low-class and kind of like, really, that's what you do? But sometimes that's what you have to do, especially in an industry where it's all, word of mouth. So I went up to New York City last January, and I spent 3 days with one of my trainers going around the city, visiting various film sets and TV sets, trying to get on set. We weren't successful, but it was still a really awesome and tremendous learning experience. So I wanted, ultimately the goal at some point is either go to, right now the goal is New York City, but Atlanta might be better because it's cheaper to live and there's way more stuff going on down there, like way more. But
Marvel basically owns Atlanta at this point, right?
Pretty much. Marvel and AMC.
Yeah, how do you transition from the stuff that Marvel's doing on Netflix? How do you get down there to Atlanta?
Well, Marvel, it depends. So if Netflix does a lot of their stuff in New York, they film almost all their stuff in New York. AMC and a lot of the Marvel movies film in Atlanta. So remember, there's a difference there. How do you transition that? Honestly, it's just picking up one day, packing up your stuff, emptying the bank account, and going. The reason why I say that is because we just recently had one of our students do that. He was a very successful software development engineer in, I want to say McLean, Virginia. He worked for a very, very prestigious company, made a lot of money, wasn't happy. He has a tremendous physique, athletically gifted as hell, and he's just like, he was 24 years old. He's just like, why not? Why not? So he quit his job, took all his money in his savings, and he just moved to Atlanta about 2 weeks ago. And so now he's training at a facility down there, and he's making connections. And hopefully he'll get some work out of it.
So when you show up on set and you're like, can I please talk to the stunt coordinator, please? Like, what's the reaction that you get? Is it like, dude, what the hell? Get the hell out of here.
Yep,
No.
Yep. You'll usually get that. Okay. One of the things that I kind of caught on to is that the cool thing is that eventually if you do it enough, you'll start to see the same familiar faces, and they'll start to recognize you. And if you're in that community enough, eventually you'll brush shoulders. Eventually you will. So it's the idea of hopefully putting yourself out there enough over and over and over again, the law of mathematical equation. Eventually you'll run into somebody that you know. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you from the thing last year. Yeah, sure. Swing on by tomorrow around 8 o'clock and see if you can. Most of the times, though, Topher, it's just like, get the hell off my set. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? Our team's in from England, and they're better than you.
Yeah.
They have an 8-pack between all of them.
Well, for the audience at home, you've got an 8-pack, right?
Yeah, I think somewhere in my car, an 8-pack of AAA batteries.
Exactly. There we go. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. You've also got radio DJ voice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Can we?
Do you want to hear several ones?
Yes.
So, well, okay, real quick though,
right.
you don't just use you're not using this radio DJ voice as snoring dead soldier number 3, are you?
Number 2.
Oh, number 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have once. I actually, at one point, I did have to give a line, and I remember hearing at some point a director say in the background, "Wow, his voice is great." It's like, wow. what is he doing? So that was the end of it. Yeah.
So do you use your voice for other things?
I do. I'm actually a sex phone operator. I've talked to you a few times, Matt.
Don't tell my wife.
Oh, trust me, she already knows.
Oh man, yeah. Play that outro.
There it is.
Oh man.
I'm not going to say it.
That is
well,
the
that's been
season finale.
Oh, it's been a great 10 episodes. Blah, blah, blah. Is
so
that it,
great.
Wes? Is that what you were going to say?
That's how you say it. Till then,
Oh, God.
this is Early Q in the morning saying good fight and good night.
Oh, man.
That's correct.
Woo.
But yeah, I do enjoy the fact that I do have a certain artistic talent when it comes to my voice and my vocal cords. I do crack up our producer a lot with my various impersonations of things. So like I really enjoy doing the very cool like, hi, welcome to TQ in the morning. This is Weenie in the Butt saying 104.5 signing off. You know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just mashed.
That's
a bunch
my
of stuff
favorite
together.
morning show.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Sweet. I thought I was the only
I
one
listen
listening
to
to it.
Weenie in the Butts all the time.
You
Yeah.
too?
Do some accents.
You want some accents? So one of the things that our producer likes is when I do various accents.
Is this going to get offensive?
When you say producer, what do you mean?
He means Aaron.
Some toadstool licking fuckkawad over there. Sorry.
Woo, there's your F-bomb.
There's the F-bomb. Yeah, that's too much.
Like our producer.
Our producer, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But like we have a mutual friend who just for some reason after he's had a couple of Mike's Hard Lemonades, he's like, dude, do the accent. They're really funny. So like one of my go-tos is being a pirate. So you know, like if you walk around, I'm just like, "Yar, who are you there, Bloody Jim? It's really good to see you there." You know, it's just like, "Hi, I've been running up the Beltway with you all the time." Yar, yar.
That's decent.
I try.
That's like right up there with like.
Definitely above Steve the Pirate.
Peter.
Peter.
Sure.
I was thinking like the guy that gives tours at Heavy Seas Brewery on Sundays.
Oh God, yeah, Peg Leg Mike.
Yeah, they do. They do pirate
Mike.
tours on Mondays.
They
Heavy
do
Seas.
pirate tours at Heavy Seas?
Yep.
Yeah, where have you been?
Today's episode is brought to you by Heavy Seas Brewery and their Sunday pirate tours.
Yeah, drink it, or I'll make you walk the plank.
Yeah, I did
kind of stuff.
a bachelor party where it was like a brewery tour.
Yeah.
And we started, the first brewery we went to was Heavy Seas, and it was on a Sunday, and we got the pirate tour, and every other tour after that was so boring because we're like, yeah, we know about barley and hops, like nobody cares. Tell us more interesting pirate facts. Like he would just give us these really crazy facts about like all these like insane pirates in the past. And so like when we went to Union Craft Brewery, I'm like, cool, tell me about Wart again. I don't need to know.
Tell me about Bartholomew Roberts and his horrible ways he treated the girls and the vermin of the sea.
Exactly. So much more interesting.
I know. It's just like, God, right, man. That should be the huge selling point. But also, like, I try to do a pretty good Irish accent every now and then as well. Mm-hmm. So if you run over there, it's like, oh, it's Father O'Shaughnessy, how are you, sir? You know, that kind of thing there. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to offend some people,
not with my employer.
No, just start speaking like a Scotsman, and it starts going. Oh, you guys thought I was going to go really offensive. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
You can you're only allowed to make fun of white people's accents on this.
Well, that's what I'm doing. So. I read the contract. Don't worry. I read the contract.
Is Mike Myers aware that you are also doing Scottish?
Oh, Christ. So we have a lot of talks out all the time there. Mike is quite aware of what I do out there. His grand old man there.
Yeah.
And then you can always, if you always want to, you can always add that lick of sinister kind of, you know, just evil malice intent, being like, I am the Germans. Oh, it's good to see you again. Where have you been since the last 40 years? And with a German accent, you've got to have rising rage. Like, whatever you say, it's got to be like a slow build up to just an explosion. So it's like, you could have a regular conversation with Fritz. Like, say, Fritz, how are you this morning?
Fritz, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well right now, mein Führer. How are you? Okay. You know, like that kind of thing. It's like this rising just anger and the rage and stuff. So
toss in a little Alan Rickman in there.
Oh God, I don't.
Hans Gruber.
I can't do Snape.
Do him as Hans Gruber.
Yeah. We have a friend who can do Snape much better than I can. And that's why I call Alan Rickman. It's either Hans Gruber or Snape. So yeah, but if you ever want to do a Russian, all you need to do is kind of like just put a Y in the middle of everything in like random spots. So it's like, what are you doing today, Boris? Yes, I'm going down the road and I'm saying, yes, it's good day, yes.
It sounds like what's his name? Played Chekhov in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, where it's instead of Victor, it's Victor. He says Victor 1 and Victor 2, you know, that kind of thing. So
So what are you using your voice for all this?
I am doing, so I do, you know, podcasts like the illustrious one I'm on right now. But I also do a lot of character work as well, character actor stuff. We do a lot of radio dramas, so I get to be various 300 different voices on there.
Play a clip.
You want to play a clip?
We got a clip.
I think we're going to play a clip. I believe this is me doing...
Boys in the Truck. Could you play that clip we got?
Yes, Boys in the Truck. Bruce Pritchard, please, play in the truck.
No.
Bruce, don't have a heart
These days
yet.
it's Kevin Dunn, and he's not doing a very good job.
I know.
That's a deep WWE cut.
That's a real deep WWE cut. Well, so one of
Jim Cornette rags on that guy all the time.
Goddamn!
Yeah. Everybody rags on Kevin Dunn. You should.
Wait, it's like, okay, we're gonna break the F-bomb barrier again, but Bruce Pritchard's impersonation of Jim Cornette has got to be the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Fuck you, bye.
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Or like Bruce Pritchard's like, goddamn, the garlic. What are you doing with the garlic? What are you doing, Yankee motherfuckers? You know, like that kind of thing. Do you ever hear him tell the story about when Jim Cornette lost his baby or his pet rat?
No, but I'm down for any Jim Cornette story.
Oh my god! Well, so it's just like basically the thing that they kept referencing is that both Bruce Pritchard and Jim Cornette kept referring to the fact of how cute this rat's balls were. He's like, yeah, this is my little rat right here. He's got the cutest little set of balls you ever seen. Goddamn! You know, and then Bruce Pritchard's in the background, just like, yeah, well, that's it. That's his set of balls right there, and they're just massive. They're just like two little, just swollen, just earplugs. Good God, huge.
Woo!
Oh my God, goddamn, motherfucker, Yankee motherfucker, I'll kill you.
Super producer Aaron saying we have a clip of Aaron or Wes narrating for upcoming project.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, one of the things.
Good transition, Matt.
So but harkening back to what you said earlier, yeah. Hard stop, hard stop there, eh? So one of the endeavors that I'm working with is a mutual friend of mine by the name of Ben, and our producer. Who we've had on the show.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, Ben was on an episode.
He was on. He was on episode 3 or 4 or whatever the hell.
This episode is brought to you by Ben. And I Make Movies?
I Make Mobile.
I Make Mobile.
Get it right.
Brought to you by I Make Mobile.
And that giant face.
Yeah, he has a very large face.
Right now, producer Aaron is showing a picture of Ben.
I have no idea who this man is, but it looks like Charles Manson.
It's Ben.
It's Ben, dude. You spoke to him.
He sat right there.
Yes.
Ben.
The guy that played music afterward, we did the whole little jam.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for giving a shit about your guests.
The guy from Howl at the Moon.
It's okay. I've already forgotten who you are,
Yeah,
Wes,
I don't even know
fine.
I don't even know where the hell I am.
There's 10 of these. I swear to God.
You're so
I've
tough.
really enjoyed these past 10 episodes with you, man.
I just said I've learned so much about myself. Goddamn. So this is one of the clips
I can barely remember who I talked to this morning.
Anyway, back to me, the most important thing.
Exactly. Yes, please.
So we're gonna play a quick little clip of a little bit of narration that we did for an upcoming documentary that we're doing at I Make Mobile call about the death of Edgar Allan Poe. So let's give a listen real quick and see how it sounds.
Yeah, please.
Put that voice to work.
Play that clip, please.
Oh, we're gonna play it.
And then you just pull never mind.
Edgar Allan Poe, the architect of apprehension, engineer of the eerie, designer of dread, the master of the melancholy and the macabre. But perhaps the most intriguing detail about Poe is not found in the literature of his life, but in the enigma of his death. For the father of the detective story died befitting of his own writings, shrouded in a mystery and darkness that has endured to this very day. On September 27th, 1849, Poe steps off of a ferry. On October 3rd of that same year, he is found delirious, nonsensical, in borrowed clothes. 4 days later, he dies. What happened during those 5 days that Poe was unaccounted for? Did something in that time frame ultimately lead to his death? Join us as we step back in time to explore dimly lit saloons, roam cobblestone streets, and investigate dark alleyways to find the last stop of Edgar Allan Poe.
It's been 1 week since Oh man, that was wow.
Goddamn!
Goddamn! That was.
Yeah, did you feel it all the way in your
I'm
feet?
feeling so many things.
I felt
know.
like I was about to watch a really good episode of Dateline on NBC.
Hello,
was
I'm
super
said
intense.
couple. I'm said couple. This on Dateline, murder in your city. Did you cause it?
That was amazing.
I
All
tried.
of a sudden, what's his name shows up and goes, "Why don't you have a seat right here?"
Oh, Chris Hansen. Why don't you take a seat right over there? I'm Chris Hansen. This is To Catch a Predator.
Oh,
and you
Edgar
are
Allan
a...
Poe. Why don't you have a seat right there?
Yeah, actually, the way I described it, it kind of sounded like he died after a really intense sexual orgy or something. It's
What happened during?
he was
4
found
days?
covered in white goo and in borrowed clothes.
Woo!
Goddamn.
Oh man. So
This is not going to be a PG-rated episode.
no, this
That was
one,
PG-ish.
I
I didn't say anything. Just the inference is there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I had the distinct view in my mind of
I don't think I wanna know what this
Stan
is.
Marsh from South Park.
Oh. All right. Yeah. Oh
went in search
no,
of the
no,
internet.
not that's no. All right.
Wait, you mean Greg?
No,
No,
his dad.
His dad, right?
His dad.
Greg Marsh, not Stan.
Yeah.
No, is it
When
Greg?
they went in search of the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Heard there's
I
some
know.
more internet out there.
I believe Aaron has a clip.
Dad.
No, not no.
Stan!
No,
Stan! Is this it?
no, we've been shut off the air.
Oh, he's
He's
bleeping.
bleeping us out.
You son
attempting.
of...
There was a lot of ectoplasm,
You
Stan.
son of a... Just...
He's trying. Okay, there
I'm
you go.
trying to feed you here, mother... Go yourself, you piece of ass,
This is-
piece of art and dead.
And you've listened to the series finale of Out of Bed.
Yeah, really.
You know, man, after all these 10 episodes, I just gotta say.
Oh man.
But
so
no, I try to really crack my creative fingers as much as I can.
that's awesome. So Edgar Allan Poe, you're working on that with Ben.
Yes.
Now I believe Aaron had a hand in that as well, right?
Yeah. We're all three of us are kind of working together, and some of us are pulling our weight more than the others. But
As usual. Yeah.
I wrote that intro.
Trust us. We're used to it.
he didn't write it very
60
well.
We've done 10 episodes with him. We're used to it.
Oh,
65% of this show is Aaron just looking at us and shrugging.
Yeah, that's
That's actually accurate.
as he just shrugged.
I think it's about 80% of his life too.
Yeah.
Just looking at things and like,
I was trying to get I was gonna post usually after each episode I post a little picture after we've recorded. It's I'm so glad we got to sit down with blah 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 and talk to them about what gets them out of bed, and it's so inspirational. And I wanted to post because this is our season finale, I wanted to post a picture of Aaron to be we've done so much, and Aaron has been such a vital part of that, and I just wanted to get all heartfelt, and all I could get was a picture of Aaron slumped down in the couch looking bored as hell on his phone, and it's just not gonna work out.
well, let's. I want to touch on something you talked about real quick, Topher, in the regards of what gets you out of bed.
You mean you want to hearken on the name of this podcast and what we're actually supposed to be talking about?
So that's the idea behind this. And earlier, the question was, what's the next step? What kind of gets you for this? So I'm going to show you guys a picture real quick. We're gonna be a little serial real quick here. So this picture was taken back in February of this year, so February 2018. So I'm going to show you a picture.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, so that's a picture. That's me. So this is a picture.
Yep.
That's a picture.
That is a picture. I want the audience.
You've seen this one, right?
I want the
Yeah.
audience
Yeah.
to know that Wes has showed us a picture.
I showed a picture of myself. I was actually in the hospital. If you can see, I actually have EKG patches on my chest.
Yeah.
So back in February of this year, my job is my day job is very, very stressful. Very, very stressful.
Yeah.
And I just had a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of just a physical, response to a lot of stress. And there was a point where I actually thought I was having a heart attack. So I actually went to the emergency room, and it's scary right at first when you go in because your heart's racing out of control. Your left arm is going numb. A lot of people are, various doctors are telling you things at the same time. Did you have anything? Did you go here? Did you do that? And you're trying to collect your thoughts at the entire time. And in the immediacy of it, the first thing you think of is oh my God, I might actually die. I honestly thought I was having a heart attack. It turns out that it wasn't a heart attack. It was very, very high levels of basically very highly elevated blood pressure that spiked at one point. And as a result of that, I was in no danger of dying, but it still puts the idea in your head. It's man, this has to be one of those aha, or what I call sometimes come to Jesus moments. that wake-up moment where it's just like, okay, we've got to shift into focus here, but the things that are prevalent in your life, the priorities in your life that need to be set as actual goals that lead to fulfillment, not things you do anymore just to pay bills and then eventually die, which I feel like a lot of people kind of fall into that rut. So having the dichotomy of doing my stunt stuff and then being able to, work the 9-to-5 gig, that was a cool dichotomy and a good balance, but like, because of the stress and the pressure and everything that I put myself under, it literally put my body into a state where it's like, dude, you can't ask this much of yourself and not get anything out of it. So that's when the idea kind of grew after that. It's like, you know what, man, like you love this, you want to go after it. It kind of unifies all the things that you want to do right now. Make it a point and go for it. One of the hardest things I had to overcome myself to get myself in that mindset is, I just turned 35. So by a lot of standards, I'm an old man in a young man's game, and it's, especially in the days like when you're pro wrestling or after the age of 30, you're considered over the hill, which is tough to swallow in a lot of instances, especially when you see a lot of guys don't hit their stride till they're in their 40s.
Right.
So kind of coming to terms with that and having that mental kind of conversation with yourself and eliminating those mental blocks that you put up for yourself, it's a great source of strength, and it's a really cool kind of clarity inducing moment that it's hard to look at that picture, but I keep that picture with me as a reminder of just like, look, there's so much more out there, and there's so much more depth to the goals that you want to set. This is the desire to achieve them. This right here should be the kind of the fire, the thrust to push you towards them. So if I ever have a point where it's just like I don't think whatever I'm trying to go after is ever going to be unique or whatever, or I'm too old, or I'm not athletic enough or whatever, this picture reminds me to not give into that, to keep going forward and to keep making passion and things that it kind of ignite your spirit the main focal point of whatever journey that you're on, because without that you're not really living, you're kind of just existing, and that's not a way to live. It's really not. My mom described our lives as a very, very kind of unique blank canvas, and the colors of your life are the way that you paint your story. And if you're painting in the same color, or if you're painting in just either black and white, you're going to tell the same story over and over and over again, and nobody's going to read it, and nobody's going to watch it, specifically all you, most especially the person, authoring and crafting the story. So that's when, if you ever, have that moment, find that picture of the equivalent of Wes in the hospital to kind of galvanize you to get back on the path to make your dreams a reality, and always push towards that. Don't give up, because there's going to come a day, guys, when you won't walk out of that hospital. That heart will stop, and whatever you ever wanted to create or achieve will be gone.
And you won't be getting out of bed. So use that as the point to kind of keep going forward, and to always make sure that whatever you do it with a full, like basically a fulfilling passion, and to make that goal the priority to whatever you want to achieve. And, don't be dissuaded. Don't let those things dissuade you. So there you go. Now go get them, Tiger.
Goddamn.
All right, I'm going to put these headphones down and go do what I need to do.
Yeah, no, really.
Goddamn.
I'm going to go just run a 5K, climb a mountain, and kill a bear.
And you're going to do some backflips, I think, too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
on a trampoline.
Actually, you know what? How about this? When's the next season come out, guys? When do we start doing the next season?
We haven't really discussed that. Probably soon.
So
yeah, they have to fire me first.
we have to replace various people on the program first.
He doesn't know this, but his fiance is replacing him.
Really?
That's what everybody wants, really.
Well, turns out.
Just in life, too. I think just in life in general, most people would prefer that Frankie replace me in most situations.
I would say, guys, if you want, as like a special, let's get one of you two down to my gym and let's put you through some drills and let's film it.
I would love that.
Yeah.
There you go. You do it, Chris.
So
you're the one with two working legs.
Yeah. So I think you're kind of.
I think like. I think you're in a prime position with your broken leg. It's already broken.
Yeah.
Just give up on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Just give up.
Just drag your carcass down to the down to the stunt.
Just come on down to the Stunt Coalition and we'll throw you around.
You want to be a wrestler, so good.
I mean, I'm really good at getting hungover and then falling asleep and snoring.
Oh,
so
hell
I think
yeah,
I
dude.
could totally
Oh, hell yeah.
be a stunt actor.
Oh, he'll
apparently.
be perfect. He'll be absolutely perfect. That's the secret to being a good dead body, is just get drunk the night before and fall asleep on the field.
Yeah.
Like this, that. There you go.
Well,
In character and everything.
I think these are all great ideas. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think for us right now, we'll housekeeping while Wes is here, because he doesn't. Yeah. We don't really care about bothering him.
Nah.
But I think where we're looking to go with this next is obviously we would like to do a second season, and
Yeah.
we'll be doing that next. But I kind of want to do an episode in between each season,
Yeah.
of just myself, Matt, and actually get Aaron behind a microphone, because that's what everybody's been clamoring for. Is
I'm sure.
they want to hear
Yeah.
Aaron.
I'm
On a
sure
mic,
the millions of fans, the millions and millions. We want Aaron.
We actually get letters from his mother
We do.
saying,
Yeah.
please put Aaron on.
Which is weird because we haven't released any episodes yet. So
Turns out is
really
not his
aggressive.
Turns out is not his mother.
yeah,
It's not. It's
It's
just
actually
him.
Aaron dressed up in drag.
It's just
Yeah.
Aaron sending a letter to us.
going full Norman Bates.
yeah,
Full
Bates
Norman
Motel
Bates.
style. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh man, that'd be amazing. The Bates producer. Well, a boy's best co-host is Topher.
Yeah.
A boy's best co-host is Topher.
Season 3 is gonna be Aaron, like just dressed up as each of us, like doing all of our voices because he's killed all of us.
And our mangled carcasses hanging by nails in the background. Goddamn.
That sounds wonderful. But anyway, I guess what I'd like to do is an in-between episode where we kind of debrief together and talk about how we think it's going so far, but then also talking a little bit more about what gets us out of bed or what is currently getting us out of bed.
Right.
And I think we'll probably call those episodes "Making the Bed." I think that would be a cute. Thank you.
Where did you get the inspiration for that?
From the name of the podcast.
Man, God, we are
I think it's a great name for that episode.
we are shattering new ground here.
You know what? If you're gonna host this podcast without me from now on, you got to get used to these really well thought up titles.
You're
So-
right, I do.
We're also
Deal
going to
with it.
procure some sponsorships for next season. We're going to go with some really stable businesses like Sears.
Yes, yeah. Toys R Us is doing great right now
G&M
too.
and
yes,
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
Enron.
Oh God, yeah, Enron. Guys, Radio Shack, come on, come on.
The sky is the
Actually, I'm
limit.
sorry. We won't be doing Radio Shack. That actually conflicts with our other sponsor, Circuit City.
Oh really? Oh man.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I might pick up Ground Round at one point, so we can use them too.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
What about the Sizzler? Are they actually still even around? The Sizzler?
I don't really.
No.
Was that like a seafood buffet? What was
But
that?
like some places exist on the West Coast still.
Really?
Like
Sizzlers?
you'd be amazed at what you think doesn't exist anymore. Like Big Boy,
Oh my God.
you get past Maryland and all of a sudden Big Boys are everywhere. Pennsylvania, Ohio, California.
Today's episode is brought to you by Big Boy. I don't
Goddamn.
even, I can't even
This
come
is
up
where
with
Aaron
a fun.
should snap into action and go get the Clint Howard clip from Austin Powers where he explains that in many ways
Howard.
Big Boy has never gone away.
Howard. Howard. Clint
Howard,
Howard.
yep.
There you go.
Yep, there you
not
go.
not two D's.
Yep,
There you go.
that third video. Yeah, pick that one.
Actually, what is it?
It's not the third day.
Oh no.
It's the whole movie that we can rent for $2.99.
Perfect.
There you go.
Just charge it to the out of bed credit card.
Yes, yes. Which is
We have
overdraw.
spent a lot of money on that credit
Which
card.
is overdraw.
Mostly on alcohol.
What?
My card.
Well, we know.
We took that out of your wallet. We promised to put it back.
It's everywhere you want to
Oh,
be.
we promised to do that. Oh,
Well,
well.
you were in the elevator, turns out, and we
Welp.
did. Lot
A lot
goes on
of
in those
stuff goes
trips.
down in those
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Better start walking again, Chris. Better start walking again.
That will be covered in making the bed.
Yeah, that. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk at length about my leg. I'm sure.
Oh my God.
Gosh, I just want to I just want to run again. And if you look at me, you'd be like, "You want to run?" No, but I really I miss running.
Yeah.
I can't go for a little run. Not that I ever did, but
Well,
I loved having the option.
So as far as the prognosis, where are we in the recovery process? How long before you could start walking at a brisk step?
Nobody's given me any numbers.
Really?
Nobody has given me any numbers.
Not a one.
Yeah, so I don't have the boot on anymore. I'm just walking around, and I'm hobbling. I need to get the heel toe motion down
Yes.
of walking.
Yes.
I haven't really gotten that, so I need to be stretching out my calf more and all that stuff. So I have exercises that I can be doing, but it's still I can feel exactly where the break happened.
Oh God.
It still kind of hurts where the break happened.
Really?
Yeah, because it's right like halfway down my leg. And apparently part of the tibia is like kind of poking out a little bit.
Oh, good.
And so it's like created like extra shin.
Oh my god.
And so it starts to like sting a little bit when I walk. But anyway, Aaron still am I just vamping while Aaron looks for some clip apparently about Big Boy? Are we actually
I mean, the moment's kind of past at this stage.
that's fine.
Well,
it's been 1 week.
So
it's funnier with the actual song and not like my shitty rendition.
So one of the really funny things too, like going back, like so talking about injuries, like one of the cool things that like when you were a pro wrestler is you get to see all various like injuries occur like in real time. Like
that does sound real cool.
Well, it's cool when it doesn't happen to you. Like it's great when it doesn't happen to you, but like when it's happened to somebody, like when it happens to somebody else, like oh wow, well I'm not going to do that again in the ring.
Yep.
I remember some kid who actually ended up being my tag team partner in a short time after this decided that he had just seen P.D. Williams do the Canadian Destroyer. So
of course,
he's like,
you can't be an indie wrestler without trying the Canadian Destroyer.
So it's just like, so what's the first move we do? Wrist lock. Then we do Canadian Destroyer right after that. Let's go straight for it.
Somebody's been watching too much PWG.
So this kid is just like, oh yeah, I can take the bump, man. I can take it, no problem. And the guy who gave it to him is just like, are you sure, dude? Like, are you sure you want me to give you the Canadian Destroyer? He's like, yeah, man, it's gonna look really cool. I'm gonna spike really awesome. I'm gonna get some airtime. It'll be awesome. Kid literally got spiked on his head and he knocked himself out.
Nice.
In the middle of the match.
For those who don't know, the Canadian Destroyer is when
a flipping pile driver.
Yeah, so you put somebody's head in between your legs with them facing down at the ground, and then you basically do a front flip over them, bringing them with you as you flip.
Yep.
To the point where you land on your butt and they land on their head with their body straight up in the air.
It's very graceful and it's very intense and it's not an easy move to do. It would never be practical enough.
I was trying to get
Oh God! Is that? I was like, is somebody eating celery?
It's like,
Who's eating celery in here?
is this I thought it was like the extended version of 1 week by Bare Naked Ladies.
That's bound.
I thought it was Chris's leg getting broken.
That's another funny story from my ring days.
That was more like a baseball bat, cracking.
God. Another funny story from my ring days is I had a tag team match once in Mexico, Maine. And yes, that's a place.
Very well known. Mexico, Maine.
It's right down the way from Norway, Maine, and to the west of China, Maine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wrestling hub.
Wrestling hub of the world. China, Norway, Maine. Oh, there it is. Mexico too. Mm-hmm. So we're having this tag match, and one of the guys, one of my opponents was a guy by the name of Mark Rage, and Mark was a young kid, very cool, a little bit of a go-getter, not very well up on his cardiovascular conditioning, and I was in really good shape at that point.
We'd get along.
So in the middle of the match, we have this really intense spot that we kind of plan out. Like, it'll really cool. You'll hit the rope a couple of times. I'll take a fall. You'll go over top. It'll be really cool. And then afterward, he's like, "Okay, sweet. Afterwards, I'll miss you, and I'll go for a clothesline, and I'll go to the outside of the ring, and it'll look like I missed you." I'm like, all right, that's really cool. So he does. So in the middle of the match, when he goes and he tries to hit me with this clothesline, and he goes out of the ring, he doesn't come back in. He's staying outside. And I'm waiting, and the next part of the spot was he was supposed to come up and essentially like slap me, but he's like outside, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I look over the kind of the ring apron, and I look down. This kid is halfway underneath the ring with his legs sticking out, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So he comes back up about 4 minutes after, rubbing his face. Now he has a mask on, and his mask is all wet. So he gets back in the ring, and we lock up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He's like, I threw up. The rest of the match, whenever I had him in a headlock, I was praying to God that I didn't like actually touch his like throat or his Adam's apple to like trigger regurgitation on me or something. Apparently he ran so hard in the first couple of moments of our exchange, he literally made himself sick. So he had to go outside of the ring in the middle of the match and puke. There you go.
Oh, so you tagged with draws. It was draws, right?
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, that's right. I got a deep cut.
You know what? I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
No, it's puke.
He's gonna puke.
He's gonna puke.
Everybody, please go watch Beyond the Mat.
Everyone, please reference Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
I will.
Don't do that.
Oh no, gosh! We just lost all of our audience.
Well,
because Aaron
hold on. I could actually. I think I could. No,
no, please don't.
Yeah.
No more. No more. We can. I will accept offensive Jim Cornette impressions.
Goddamn.
I will accept like mediocre to average like different ethnicity.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Yeah, I'll accept all of that, but no
pukage.
No puke impressions. You could do a Vince McMahon. We could just do Vince McMahon impressions for the rest of the episode.
So we would just be walking.
There we go. Yeah.
This isn't Vince McMahon.
You played way too much. Now we're gonna get hit with a copyright
Aaron,
strike.
do
you
me
gotta
a
go.
favor.
It's banned, and that's it. You can't
Aaron,
do anything
me
more.
a favor and play our favorite Vince McMahon clip that has ever been created. Because
which one? There's a lot. Is it?
You know the one, and once it comes up, you're gonna
wait. Is it? It's not the one where he says the N-word, is it?
No.
Okay,
Why
good.
do you? Why would that be my favorite clip?
I don't know you that well.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
And I gotta say, Jim Ross with the son of a bitch,
Yeah.
like the follow up.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
We apologize, folks.
Oh man.
We thank you for inviting us in your home. Good God! Oh God!
What's he doing
What's he doing in here? My God! My God! He's got a family. God damn!
That's like a car crash, King.
He's tougher than a $2 steak. I tell you that.
Well, goddamn, pal, that's a very good impression of me. I really appreciate you doing that impression of me right there.
All right, so apparently the key to doing a Vince McMahon impression is just throwing goddamn and pal at the end of everything.
So
it's like, where you going? I'm going down to the street, pal. I'm going down to the store, pal, to get some food. You know, it's like
If you ever listen to his like 1980s ring announcing stuff,
it's so much different.
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver!
1, 2, 3, no.
Yeah,
Bruno Sammartino there coming in. Bruno Sammartino from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big 265-pounder there. Oh, what a maneuver! What a maneuver.
so good. I love Vince McMahon.
I know.
Speaking of which, who's excited? There we go.
What do we got here?
What a maneuver!
Yeah, what a maneuver.
That was actually CM Punk yelling at
Oh,
Vince
that's
McMahon.
right. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Oh my
He
gosh.
puts the headset on and screams, "What a maneuver!"
Oh man.
And then Punk quit his company.
The amount of like amazing. Like, this isn't a wrestling podcast, and I don't want it to become a wrestling podcast.
Too late.
Because everybody expects me to do a goddamn wrestling podcast, and that's not what I want to do. But
It's been
it's just so, like, there's so many things in wrestling that, like, out of context are incredibly hilarious and funny, but there are so many things that when you just take it and put it in a little bit of context, it's incredible.
It is just delicious.
Oh man, I really love.
It's wonderful, isn't it? It's the greatest thing ever.
The like goofy insider like wrestling jokes, like the what a maneuver thing, when you have somebody that's like kind of studied the game and then they just throw it out there. It just hits like. It's like when a comedian is telling a joke like in an arena full of people, but he is telling it to like an inside joke to his mom.
Yeah.
And she loves it. And she thinks it's the greatest thing ever. Nobody else gives a shit. Nobody else understands what's going on. But that one person, they have made that one person infinitely happy. And wrestling does that all the time. And it's just absolutely incredible.
It's an engine for happiness, man. I mean, if you ever having a bad day, don't watch the last 2 episodes of Raw, but yeah. But watch Raw at some point.
Well, back in the day, Vince McMahon's motto was "Send him home happy." Like, his whole shtick was,
what was Vince Russo's motto?
Car crash.
Well, Vince Russo would have just had to send him home happy on a pole match.
Send him on.
Even during the Attitude Era, those shows, usually the big shows, usually ended with like the big guy going over.
Well, if you watch, there was a documentary, or not a documentary, but a video that WWE put out a while ago called like Raw After the Show or something like that. Yeah. And it was clips of stuff that happened when Raw went off the air. Because what happens when Raw goes off the air is they're not beholden to advertisers or the network or anything like that. So one, it might be more offensive, but that's not even the important part. The other important part is they can just do whatever they want and have fun, be goofy and silly. And so there's an entire one where it's probably a 20-minute clip of about 10 wrestlers trying to get The Undertaker to do the spin-a-rooney.
I see.
Which, if you don't know what the spin-a-rooney is, it's just like a head. It's like a head spin. It's like a breakdancing move.
Yeah, it's like
that Booker T was famous for.
Yeah.
And so Booker T. It's like a bunch of good guys and bad guys in the ring, and Booker T does the spin-a-rooney, but it's like, cool, he did the spin-a-rooney, and then like,
because I think the setup is the same, that like when the Undertaker gets on one knee and like does the whole like urn thing.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, the setup's the same.
And then like Triple H tries to get the spin-a-rooney, and he
but
does
his
terrible.
nose, his nose blocks him.
Exactly. And then there's like The Rock, and then they're like, we got to get Undertaker to do it, and he's like, I won't do it, and no, like Undertaker is refusing to do it. Vince McMahon eventually comes out, and he does the spin-a-rooney, trying to get like, Undertaker, if I do the spin-a-rooney, you got to do the spin-a-rooney too. And he never does it, but it's just 20 minutes of wrestlers doing the spin-a-rooney, staring at the Undertaker, waiting for him to do it, and he just doesn't.
Is that when McMahon? Is that before or after McMahon like just shattered both of his quads?
No, that is the best. That is the best thing that's ever happened in wrestling.
Was like Royal Rumble 05?
What we're gonna do right now is we need to pull up a clip. I'm going to
come on, producer, get on this.
Well, no, so it's a clip that both Matt and Aaron need to see. So I'm gonna just pull it.
You
up.
guys haven't seen this?
No.
I probably have.
You probably, if you've ever watched the Royal Rumble in 05, you saw it.
So okay, so to set this up, just look up Vince McMahon tears both quads. So to set this up, the Royal Rumble, don't play it yet. The Royal Rumble is a match where a bunch of people get into the ring, and the only way you can eliminate them is by throwing them over the top rope, and both feet have to hit the ground, and it's basically last person standing wins. And the rule is both feet have to hit the ground, and it's like that's the hard and fast rule. And this year it was going to come down to Batista and John Cena. At the time, Batista was supposed to win this match. Yes, I'm sorry, wrestling is staged. And John Cena was going to lose. And they both end up falling out of the ring at the same time. And their feet...
They both eliminated at once, so there's no clear winner.
There's no clear winner.
Yeah.
And now, technically, if you rewatch the clip, Batista's feet definitely fall first, but they have to. Batista's supposed to win this match. So Vince McMahon comes down, and he's huffing and puffing and screaming that doing
Pretty
the
much.
walk, and he demands that they restart the match. And so I am going to play the clip. And Aaron is looking at the clip. I'm going to show the clip to Matt to get their reactions.
Well, let's hear the clip too. Yeah, let's get some audio in this. Fast forward a little bit, Aaron. Yeah, like right when Vince starts walking down, you're going to hear that weirdly.
What point are you at? What point are you at, Aaron? I want to get our timing right.
He's at 40.
Two Raw referees holding Batista's hand up.
50 seconds. Okay, so right now, folks, the referees are jockeying back and forth to see which one who won. Was it John Cena or was it Batista?
Yeah, they're arguing.
They're arguing who won, and then let's hear that. Let's hear that intensely. Up, there it is. Here come the shoulders. Watch the legs, Aaron. Watch the legs. Watch the legs when he goes in the ring. Watch the legs. Boom! He broke both his legs.
He tore both his quads.
He tore both his quads at the same time, and he's still trying to finish it. And he's still playing it off.
And he's just sitting there.
In obvious pain. Obvious pain.
For the listeners at home, please just look up Vince McMahon tears both quads. He literally sits in the ring with his legs straight out, staring up at everybody.
You had not seen that before, Matt? Are you kidding me?
Screaming to restart the match.
It's the greatest thing ever. Are you kidding me?
And so they restart the match. Batista throws John Cena over, all while Vince McMahon is still sitting on the ground, just staring at everybody.
Oh,
with
that is
both his quads torn.
I spent a good part of today laughing at the shocked master entrance, and now I've got this in my hand.
Oh my god.
And that seems like a good enough place to end season 1, right?
Just crying.
Yeah.
Just laughing, crying.
Please, when you go home again, please look up Vince McMahon tears both quads.
Yes.
Pause the podcast right now and go watch it. It's delightful. You don't have to understand wrestling to get it. You might find it even funnier if you don't understand
Just take
wrestling.
pleasure in other people's suffering.
Yeah,
Just do that.
exactly.
By the time we do season 2, I might stop laughing. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's
Good.
it's so good. I have friends who have been like lifelong wrestling fans who have never seen that, and I showed them that, and again, just absolutely dead.
It opens a part of your world that was previously just shrouded in just mystery.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
Well, Wes,
You're losing it over there.
I know he's done.
God damn.
All right, well, while he's trying to compose himself, Wes, what can you plug? Where can people find you?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, guys.
talk about?
As far as all this, if you guys ever get a chance, check out DC Stunt Coalition's website. It's DCSC.com, I believe, or just search DC Stunt Coalition on your Google machine. You can also check us out on Facebook. We have open training sessions every single Sunday at Marvatots in Rockville, Maryland on Randolph Road. So feel free to come down every Sunday from 4 to 9 p.m. We have various instructors there. Additionally, if you ever want to have a chance to try to be a part of our live stunt shows, come on down and talk to our trainers. We have a lot of contacts that we can try to hook you up with to try to get you, work with Six Flags or some of the live stunt shows or what have you. Or if you come and train with us enough, we'll try to get you on some of the movies that come through or television shows or what have you. It's open to everybody. So if you just want to get a workout in, come on down, check it out, have fun, throw some weapons around, throw each other around, and, make yourself feel better. But yeah, come on down, check it out, and support your local filmmakers.
Nice. Any voice acting stuff you'd like to plug, or
As far as
Aaron's showing him something that he's apparently supposed to plug, or
oh yeah, no, so the other stuff that we want to plug as well is our friend Ben, who was on this podcast previously, he and I are working together to create a basically a new company right now called I Make Mobile, which is the opportunity to try to illustrate to everybody out there that if you ever had any kind of creative endeavor where you wanted to make a movie or something like that, the world of it is literally at your fingertips right now in the form of a phone. So we have the ability now to be able to make some of the coolest and most awesome videos straight directly from the artist's mouth. So the reason why that we're starting this company is we're trying to galvanize and reiterate to the fact that the organics of whatever creative endeavor an artist is trying to create is right at their fingertips, and the amount of magic that you can create with mobile devices as far as movies, photography as well, or what have you. It's kind of the next wave that's kicking off. So check out I Make Mobile on IG. Check out I Make Mobile on Facebook. We're going to be putting out a lot of stuff. Thank you. Check out I Make Mobile is on IG. Check out I Make Mobile on Facebook as well. Be on the lookout for the Edgar Allan Poe documentary that we're coming up with that's going to be coming out in January called Poe, His Last Stop. It's going to be a really cool 2019 with seeing where I Make Mobile can go. So check it out, guys. Support us if you can. And as I said, support local filmmakers.
Well, thank you so much. We should have social media by this point, but
you should.
I don't know what it like. We don't have an Instagram yet, do we?
Yeah, we do.
We do. Is it just out of bed, or what is it?
Yeah.
What's
it's
our
out of bed podcast, right?
I think so.
Yeah, let me see.
Hold on. Let's all.
Let's make sure that we got everything on the same.
Let's bring this podcast to a screeching halt.
We have an Instagram.
Okay.
We have a Facebook. We don't have a Twitter.
Yeah, we'll eventually get a Twitter.
anymore?
For now, we'll put all that.
Hopefully,
stuff.
a lot of people. That's how I make my living.
We'll put all that stuff on the description as well. But please follow us at outofbed_podcast on Instagram, and I'm sure we'll get a Twitter eventually. But
like us, rate us,
yeah, please subscribe to whatever. I don't
share
know.
with your friends.
If you're on iTunes,
Threaten
do
your friends with
reviews.
this
Yeah,
podcast.
Yeah, give us a review. Laugh.
yeah.
Enjoy what we do.
He's got more things. Facebook.
Are you telling me you're just pointing at things?
We have a page on Facebook. At symbol. What?
At podcast tube. Podcast Oob.
Oh, podcast Oob.
Podcast Oob.
Just
Yes.
search out Out of Bed.
Yeah,
You'll get us.
we'll put links on all that
searched
crap.
out of bed and I got so many different results. My God, man.
We don't want any of those results. But anyway,
late.
thank you so much for playing along with us and talking to us, especially Wes and anybody that we've had on this season. It's been a lot of fun. I guess we'll catch you guys with season 2. For Out of Bed, I'm Topher,
And I'm Matt.
and that's Wes. Do you have anything else you want to say? Aaron, do you have anything you want to say? I'm just talking. Whatever. Oh, Aaron quits, everybody.
Thank God.
I was just about to thank you for your work.
Thank you so
You're
much.
fired.
You're fired. Thank
Best
you so
of
much
luck
for
in your
listening.
future endeavors.
Bought by Netflix.
We've
Yeah.
been bought by Netflix
right.
and we're canceled already.
Thank you so much for listening. Please listen to Justin sing us out. I love you.
Bye.
God damn.
It's been
It's been
one.